is going to stop a ton of the Goliath's movement. And on Hyde, maybe we might see movement speed or jetpack. I'm not sure which Dylan Frey prefers, but of course getting up close and personal to the monster and putting that heat on him is always crucial. I very, very rarely see anything, though, other than reload on Kyra. That's the only one I'm going to be 100% sure. Well, I'd say capacity on Hank as well. Those are the two I'm going to be absolutely sure of. If I see anything else on Kyra, that's going to be a very, very strange pick, of course. Reload helping out not only on the nades, but getting that acceleration field up and online. They don't have Griffin to slow the monster on the chase anymore. Jack is not so hot on the chase. Good with damage because his pistols don't slow him down, but really, really hard to hold the monster because you have to be ahead of him for that. And then, of course, Hank has no mobility options for his team unless, I guess, you decide to orbital yourself in front of the monster. Not really as many mobility options with Hank as there is with Sunny. So Glitchful is going to be relying on those acceleration bursts to catch up to the monster. We have a very standard feed going out right here. Pretty much every monster ever on Wraith Trap goes for that first 4 or 5 meets right there on the ground and over here towards the Marsh Riders. He's got 3 choices here on Wraith Trap. Actually, a couple more choices than other maps.
The three main routes on here is that you have the route up in the north, right around this ridge, over to Helipad. You have the route that's directly south, which is the one we're seeing right now, where you hook towards the west, and you go towards this area, because it's just great for feeding after you pick up the mammoth birds here. You just cut this way and get your evolve. It's a good YOLO evolve route. The other option is to go directly east through here and down into town. Once you go into town, you have enough space where you have a choice, because the hunters have to make a choice here if they're going to go right or left. And if they choose the split, you can smell it and choose your route then, because then you can choose to either go up this way to Helipad or go left towards the forest here and get your evolve then.
Yeah, avoid the trapper.
But one thing that we're noticing right at the start is that almost all of those predictions that you did on perks were dead on correct. We have capacity on both Hank and Jack, we have reload on Kyra, and we have jetpack recharge being used on Hyde in order to make sure that he's able to traverse the map and keep up. Jack, of course, is actually using that satellite in order to make sure that they do see where he is, which is why they saw the footprints. They're choosing to just remove wildlife and just clear the forest right now. That way he can't come over here and feed later, because this is such a critical area of the map. Pings are coming out. I don't think they know where he is right now, though. Yeah, never mind. They are just clearing out the forest.
He is really, really far away from this hunter squad, actually down there in the southeast portion of the map, while the hunters are in the southwest. I'd say at least 200, 150 meters away, and that's going to cause them some trouble if they want to get to a stage 1 fight or a stage 2 fight with low armor. Birds have just been alerted, though, and I'm sure they're deviating their course towards where the monster actually is, rather than hanging out on the complete opposite end of the map. But we might see a stage here from Fresh. He might try to stage over here near Helipad. I thought he was actually going to drop down into the caves, but he's taking a slightly higher position right here. No overhead cover, though, so if Hank can get up nice and close, he can drop an orbital on him, but there's no way Hank's going to go over there. I am really, really surprised
I think he knew he was far away.
To juke him.
He knew he was far enough away that he was fine, so I think he just went, you know what, I'm going to take the route, take the evolve in a position that lets me move. As we see, he is going 3-point leap smash for stage 3, and he is going to put 1 point in rock throw to finish up his stage 1 build, which was 1 point leap smash, 1 point charge, 1 point fire breath. So he's going to be able to finish up that build. He's 160 meters away from this hunter team, as he's just able to push his way across this map and just demonstrate control. However, this hunter team is just clearing the map of all wildlife. So when he hooks down into this area, he's not going to have food, which means he's going to be stuck at stage 2 for a little while. Like, he'll be able to get a couple meets here and there. There should be a respawn from the Zookeeper coming up. So we'll have to see what happens in this area, because he is, like, I don't know, where are you going to find food? They've already been through here. They've already killed it.
Of course, he's going to have full armor in just a moment, so maybe food's not his concern if he can create food out of these hunter players.
Ooh,
now, I would say that this is a harder team comp to fight than last time. Hank Kyra, very typical set. And Hank on the pounce. Oh, we might see an early down penalty if we got some connections here on Hank. But Hank did manage to cloak right there.
Oh, the rock just barely clipping him.
And he might go down from this charge. No, that coral right there actually stops him. And Jack helping him out. He's got to hit that flame. Nope. Gypsy Danger kiting around the tree and barely keeping himself alive.
Here That's actually
good if they pick Kyra.
Going in on the Flame
indirect
Breath,
healing.
going straight for Glitchful, just dealing damage. Shields coming out from Gypsy, just trying to keep everyone alive while he's slowly getting healed up by Glitch. Doing what they can. Leaf Smash comes in, connects onto, Rock comes in. Everything being thrown on this Hunter team. Everything's being thrown and tossed, but Glitchful goes down. Shields just not quite there in time because he's getting juggled. Rock's getting picked up, thrown at Dylan. Dylan takes the shield, uses his personal shield. Everything's being done to keep everyone alive. And we do only have Jack left on the high ground from Poggums. Here comes the leap going straight for Gypsy. He's getting low. Everyone's getting low. Trying to get the pickup. Jack's going to be shielding him off, and they get the pickup from the medic!
Excellent positioning by Puggums, the Jack player right there, holding him back. Medic dies, you all die, and the medic is not dying today. Glitchful putting those heal nades out, trying to get Dylan Frey and Gypsy Danger back up in the fight. That was an amazing play. I got an MVP that to Puggums right here, but can Puggums save Glitchful as well? The heal burst does go down and gets Dylan Frey up. And Glitchful, but Glitchful unfortunately goes down.
And it's pandemonium going on in this dome. We have a second down already in the medic, a strike on the assault. We have a strike on the support. Airstrikes being thrown left, right, and center. This must be a Union rally. Everything's being done. Shields coming out on the corpse to keep Glitchful from going to dropship. Puggums is using everything. Orbital Barrage is being tossed to get him off the corpse. He's getting low on health, though. He's only about 70%. Rock's being tossed back. Glitchful's in the dropship. So they don't have a medic. Dylan's on the run, just getting melted down by the monster. Fresh is on the chase, charging up over the corpse. He's going to eat some food, get some armor quick. Satellite being thrown. Gypsy's now on the run. He's going to be running runway, going towards the relay, just trying to get into the caves, trying to run, trying to hide. You can't hide from this monster. He knows where you are, except until you use your cloak. Once you have your cloak,
I think he completely just had no clue where Gypsy Danger went once he hit that cloak. He saw Gypsy Danger drop down, and you can see the footprints from the cloak, so I'm surprised he actually didn't try to chase him down there. Gypsy Danger absolutely didn't climb up that wall because he would have seen the jetpack, so just by deductive reasoning, I'm not sure how he didn't find the cloak Gypsy Danger. But that was huge, that last fight. Gypsy Danger barely keeping himself alive. 1 HP, Kyra then getting him as Gypsy Danger kited around the tree using the orbital to protect himself. And Puggums with the clutch hold and the res on the medic from Dylan Frey while Puggums was holding the monster back. Looks like we will have a stage 3 here.
Who needs food when you got a Hunter team to eat, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said earlier. And speaking of which, those Hunters not looking too hot. 2 down penalties on the assault and medic, 1 on the support. And the Trapper is actually looking completely fine. This interesting set right here. 3 flame, 3 leap, 2 rock, and 1 charge. I think after that, Fresh is thinking, man, my short flamethrower got held back by Jack while I let the assault pull a res on the medic. No, let's not let that happen again. And he's just immediately going to go for the relay. Does have about half armor, but I doubt Gypsy Danger and Puggums are going to be able to tear through that in time. Looks like we might see a long-range orbital coming in from the Hank player, followed by a cloak, and then they're going to wait for the team to respawn. Kyra is out of the game, and of course you don't want to fight until Kyra is back up on her feet in a little more than 10 seconds.
Yeah, just barely hits him on the orbital. Just getting a little bit of chip to get him off it, but it's not quite enough to keep him off it for long, as he's already in dropship. Whoever is on the way, so we have medic and assault on the way. Gypsy Danger is, however, revealed where he is, so he's going to get melted in a moment. He knows where the dropship is. He's just going to get some armor quick. Gypsy's on the low ground, just using that cloak to keep him alive, as he's just trying to run and hide until this medic comes back. We look at the assault right now and the medic, who are in the dropship right now, ready to drop, ready to fight. Their doors are opening, hatch is done, they're coming right on down. Fresh is here waiting for them. He knows where they're going. He says, nope, I want you. But he's going to turn around, get a little bit more armor, and puts Gypsy down just because he smelled him. So that's going to be a first down, which is going to put Hank in the dropship. Toxic grenades being thrown to get him off that body, because they need to keep Gypsy alive.
Of course, if Gypsy goes down, Glitchful's got 2 down penalties. There's nothing to keep him alive except for his own injured self. He needs those shields from Hank for this Hunter squad to stand any chance against this stage 3 monster with quite a bit of health left. I'm actually surprised they did better last round with Slim Cabot than they're doing this round with Kyra Hank breaking the meta. Glitchful in a little bit of trouble right here, being stuck in the caves, but Puggums holding them back for just a second. Rock coming in hot and does connect on the climbing Puggums. He took a serious amount of heat right there, but we got a heal burst right there on Puggums. Puggums about to go down. That leap just held back slightly by Puggums' Repulsor Glove and the tree, of course, protecting him from the rock. Flames going out, burning everyone on the team. Glitchful's got his hands full, trying to keep the team online with those healing nades. Of course, they do have nice AoE healing versus Val's med gun, which is single target. But Glitchful's in a little bit of trouble and is down and back to the dropship. No incapacitated state for him. He is just going straight there. Puggins tries to save the assault right here. Dylan Frey's got to melt this monster before they get melted, but there's pretty much no hope left. Puggins, last man standing, half health, try and repulse the monster, but you can't repulse stealth bounces. And even if Puggins does get away, the relay is in grave danger at about 20% health left. Puggins doing a great job of kiting right now. I'm just not sure if he'll be able to kite for nearly a minute until his team gets back in the game. But that was MVP to Puggins right there for the hold res. And also, he didn't go down until the end right there, which unfortunately dropped the game for the Dildozers, making the current score 1-1 in this Open Qualifiers week number 1. That was game number 2.
GG, guys.
It was game 2 of the Dildozers Hunter side, which puts them in a 1-1 on this side, which means it comes down to how the Dildozers Monster goes and how the Inspector Cabot's Hunter team does in the next round, because if one team goes 2-0, that's the end of it.
And, of course, we'll see if there's going to be another team rocking in who's going to take that win in the next round.
But it's going to be crazy to think that what the possibilities are looking into this, because right now they have a full pool available because we are switching sides. So we don't know exactly what they're going to change up. Inspector Cabot usually sticks with a highly defensive side with a like Hank or a Sunny. So we're probably going to see something on that on the support lines. Of course, with Medic, it's usually going to be a Val Kyra with Inspector Cabot. I don't think I've seen them pick up Slim or Laz. So
yeah, they're probably going to ban Val, though. So
yeah, true.
Kyra's going to come in.
They are a new team, so it's going to be a different thing. We don't have that much information on them. We only have like a couple of weeks of Go for Val Sunday Cup. So who knows? Maybe they have some kind of pocket strat that hasn't been done yet. They could set a new meta and try something new. We'll have to see what they do. What like for the assault, you think they're going to be sticking with the Lennox or Torvald, or you think they're going to be switching with what YP did when they switched over back to Parnell?
Now, I don't want to give anything away, but Dylan Frey, the assault player for the Dildozers, I have seen once or twice play a mean behemoth. And of course, Bob, the TGL rule set has kept Bob in mind. Let it be known that we have heard your cries of Kraken 24/7 during ESL and the complete lack of Bob. So if the right hunters are banned and if Dylan Frey is feeling up to it, perhaps we could see a Bob game. I don't know. I'm not going to put that pressure on him and call out a Bob game and then have the whole chat be super sad because he decides to pick Wraith or Goliath instead. Although, real nice monster variety come out due to the TGL rule set. I have seen everything actually except Kraken. I don't know if I've seen a Kraken in TGL yet. I've definitely seen Goliaths and Wraiths. I'm not sure if I've seen Bob yet either. But we're going to hop into the next match in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to take a second to get everything set up because we do have to do picks and bans once again, but one thing that is for certain is the map is going to go back to Orbital Drill. The first round is always in TGL going to be on Orbital Drill for the sake of fairness. Trying to start teams off on even footing with a map that has more or less of a 50-50% monster hunter win ratio, or at least if you take from the sample of players everywhere. I know in competitive play that we do have a little bit less wins on the monster than hunters, but either way we did have discussions with competitive players and me and developers and have concluded that Orbital Drill is the nicest map to start things off here. On TGL, we're going to switch it over, we're going to switch sides here, so Orbital Drill is going to be the first match with the other monster. And the map is set. The hunters are going to be picked in just a moment. We're going to have the Dildozers come in on the monster next. Now, the thing is, like I said earlier, there doesn't have to be one singular monster player designated for your team. While you have an assault, medic, trapper, support, they can also all switch it up. And if any of them are, say, notably good on, let's say, for example, you had Nymph on a team and you had Source on the same team. Oh, they banned Nymph's Wraith, send Source in with his Kraken. Or say you had Source, Nymph, and Deanimate in there and they banned Wraith, then you would have, oh, are they going to send in Source's Kraken or Deanimate's Goliath up next? Who knows? So when you have a team full of people who know how to play monster and they all play different monsters, that'll give you a huge edge in TGL because anyone can play any role as long as, of course, they're enrolled on the team in TGL. All right, we do have the picks the first of the picks, ladies and gentlemen, coming in. But I just want to take a moment to thank all of our patrons for donating and helping TGL Season 2 become a reality. I really appreciate that. If you guys want to head over to the TGL Patreon and contribute, there are some rewards left. We are nearing $2,000 in the prize pool. And don't forget, you can find at Evolve TGL on Twitter for any TGL updates that you guys are thirsting for.
Before we get into that, guys, we are getting started in the next round. Bans are coming in. Everything's being done.
Yep.
But before we get in, why don't we give you guys a little bit more information on what's going on with TGL and how you guys can get involved in it, since we are getting ready. Lobbies are getting made. Let's give you guys a little bit of information on what's happening.
Hey guys, Kaiser Tim here to talk to you about our TGL campaign.